This news update is brought to you by
This is the 7 a.m. Barbados Today update for Monday, June the 23rd, 2014. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Good morning. Former Prime Minister Owen Arthur wants the government's new municipal solid waste tax places undue burden on Barbadians, especially pensioners. And he will be leading a charge on behalf of his constituents to get some relief from the government. Arthur told a branch meeting in St. Joseph last night he is mobilizing a team to get suffering St. Peter residents to draft letters to Finance Minister Chris Sinclair to get refunds.
Anybody identified from St. Peter? All who are living in house and shade, all the pensioners, all the people in the sexual athletes who are given the reverse tax credit. And I'm not asking to get anything unreasonable. I'm not going to a place like obviously Marina and Lincoln because I do not think that there are places on two countries. But there shall be a constituency project incentive to make sure that the Minister of Finance is faithful to the provision of Section 5 of this Act.
Political activist David Comachon is calling for a constitutional amendment to limit government's borrowing. Comachon, president of the Clement Payne movement, says a public referendum should become mandatory to prevent administrations from racking up massive deficits. He was addressing the University of Independence Square meeting on the weekend, where he suggested that high deficits caused the retrenchment of public sector workers and a reduction in some social initiatives.
We need a constitutional amendment that says any government that proposes in any year to run a budget deficit above a certain level that we consider to be getting into dangerous waters, and we can work out what that percentage might be. Whether we decide on 5%, 6%, whatever we decide on, the economists can guide us what is a safe percentage. Any government that proposes to run a deficit above that figure must come to the people in a referendum, must persuade the people and get the people's consent in a referendum.
And Barbadians are today paying less for cooking gas. The retail price of a 100-pound cylinder has dropped by $3.45 to $171.05. The 25-pound cylinder is costing 90 cents less at $47.85, while the price of a 22-pound cylinder is now $42.30, a decrease of 75 cents. The 20-pound cylinder has also gone down 70 cents and is now selling at $38.45. Barbados has been placed on Tier 2 of the United States Human Trafficking Watch List for a 5th consecutive year. The U.S. says the country remains a source and destination of sex trafficking and forced labor of men, women, and children. Its findings are outlined in the just-released annual Trafficking in Persons report by the State Department. The report is recommending more stringent legislation to deal with human trafficking, including tougher penalties. The U.S. State Department is also telling the government to implement procedures to help identify labor and sex trafficking victims and to provide adequate funding to organizations that assist victims, among other measures.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.
Turning to our regional neighbors now, a call for the Jamaica government to focus on stamping out corruption at the country's motor vehicle examination depots rather than hiking traffic fines. Civil society group Citizens Action for Principle and Integrity argues that the proposed increases for speeding and other traffic offences won't cause any significant reduction in the carnage on the nation's roads. However, it says if the administration deals with the corruption, this will reduce the number of careless and incompetent drivers. And finally, on the international scene, France's two biggest air controllers unions have threatened a 6-day strike from today. They warn this could cause heavy disruption of flights during the busy tourism season. They are protesting the government's planned aviation sector cuts between 2015 and 2019. That's our 7 a.m. update. Join us again at noon. But in the meantime, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, and like us on Facebook to get more news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a great day.
This news update is brought to you by